Hello again, fellow podcaster, and welcome back to Pod Theory. I'm your host, Jason Cercone, and today we're going to look at how to stay focused on podcast preparation. Giving yourself ample time to build your podcast episodes can sometimes feel like a daunting request. There will always be other responsibilities, distractions, and hurdles that could creep up while you're working on your upcoming show. What if someone comes in your office and asks for a few minutes of your time to go over a report, or your smartphone dings and a new text or email or notification draws your eye? Or you're working on your podcast at home and your family needs your attention. These are all real things, and almost 100% of the time, your attention will need to be diverted in order to handle what's happening around you. It's just like anything else. If you allow outside interference to take over, it will, and it won't think twice about it. We live in a world ruled by distractions. Our smartphones and all the apps we use are literally built to lure us into using them more and more. Don't believe me? Watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. So it falls squarely on your shoulders to prioritize your podcast above everything else to ensure you're creating content that will be high quality, that will be engaging, and that will be on par with everything else you've produced. Easier said than done, right? Well, not really. It all comes down to managing your time effectively. I know I've talked about the book The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan before on Pod Theory. I'm once again going to refer to it because it's a book you absolutely need to have in your possession right now. The lessons found within will not only help you with your podcasting efforts, but they'll also give you a new outlook on how you attack each day that lies in front of you. Listen, The One Thing gets a 17 out of 10. I cannot recommend it enough. A big focus of The One Thing is time blocking mastery. How are you leveraging the time that's available to you each day? Do you set appointments for yourself to work on your most important projects without distractions and interruptions? I can tell you with a lot of confidence, the answer to that is most likely no. It's because we're humans. We've been programmed to believe that we need to be multitasking all day, every day, and that juggling multiple things in our lives at once deserves some sort of medal. Let me tell you, multitasking is complete bullshit. And you can see why when you look at it like this. Say it's your typical day. You've got 50% of your attention right here. You've got 30% over there. You've got 12% of your attention way over there, and the remaining 8% is somewhere down the hall. How can you or anyone expect your best work to prevail when the full range of your focus isn't on any of these projects? Versus 100% of your attention on what's in front of you right now? I'll take the latter any day. To hell with multitasking. Okay, so now is when you need to determine how much time you can dedicate to your podcast each day. You probably did this when you built your initial podcast plan, but let's revisit it now for the sake of time blocking. It doesn't have to be hours at a time. It could be 15 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 5 minutes, whatever. But what you have to do is discipline yourself to reserve that time as if it were the most important appointment you've ever made and let zero distractions enter into the equation. And that focused, clear of distractions work will compound itself into a solid, polished final product. Think about it. If you gave yourself 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to work on your podcast every day, that's 210 total minutes or 3.5 hours each week that you've dedicated to making your podcast production the best it can be. That is not bad and not hard to execute when you simplify your approach like this. Without question, you'll have to take steps to eliminate the interruptions. If you're the type of person that constantly checks their phone, don't even tempt yourself by silencing it. Put it in another room while you do your most important work. If you're the type of person who has multiple windows open on your internet browser, close every single one that isn't relevant to what you're working on right now. You know as well as I do, they'll reopen when you need them. If someone comes into your office or workspace and asks for a minute of your time, let them know you're unavailable, but you'll be able to meet with them in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever your time block is. We definitely aren't splitting the atom with this philosophy, but time management continues to be one of the biggest pratfalls in life and in podcasting. But the consistency and quality of your show should mean enough to you to dedicate a certain amount of uninterrupted time to it each and every day. And don't just stop at podcasting. Start blocking out time every day to do your most important work free of interruptions. Your end product will be all the proof you need that this approach is a total game changer. And with that, this installment of Pod Theory has come to an end. If our time together today was everything you had hoped for and more, please don't be shy in telling the world about the show. Visit Apple Podcasts today and take 30 seconds to drop a 5-star rating and leave behind a review telling everyone how much this episode impacted you. Good talk. I'll see you back here tomorrow. This has been Jason Cercone on Pod Theory.